Welcome back to a place of challenge, a cold place where hard questions are asked and excellence is demanded. This is not a show for the faint of heart or weak of mind. The objective is to challenge your reality and promote personal excellence. Welcome back to the Warrior Enigma. Hey guys, welcome back to the Warrior Enigma. I'm your host, Jeff Ottele. If you're new to the show, as this is a newer show, I've got two different segment styles. The first being the sprint, which is just your 5 to 15 minute one topic. I kind of pick a topic that I'm passionate about, whether it's today or I've been stewing over for a couple days, and I just present it for consideration for you, the listener, to take internal, digest, and develop your own opinion. It's completely a program where I'm venting to you, talking about my thoughts on the situation, but I challenge you, the listener, to take that situation or take that topic, internalize it, and figure out, do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you apply different principles to what I'm saying? But these topics are pretty straightforward that I feel like everyone can relate to in some capacity. So even if you disagree with me entirely, at least it gets you thinking, and at least it gets you put in a position where you can make your own decision, hopefully to better yourself. Because the whole goal of this is for everybody to understand that you do have an inner warrior, whatever that looks like, whatever your desire is, your goal, your end game, whether it's to be a better husband, a better father, a better friend, a better businessman, whatever that looks like, you do have that inner warrior. And so these thoughts are just simple things that you can make a small change on. And every day I'm going to remind you that there's always one more thing that you can change. So that's what those sprints are for. I do have the marathon, the full length segments. Those will be interview style podcasts, just like you see with most other people, where I talk to somebody who's done some pretty astronomical things in their lives. And it might not be something that we can all relate to, say like a military service or a professional athlete or an entrepreneur, a CEO, something along those lines. We might not be any of those things, but the fundamental principles of how they got there are universal. People strive for excellence, and if you systematically apply yourself in a capacity, you will reach a certain point, right? I'm not saying you're going to be a billionaire and you're going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, but you can better yourself day by day. And if you look at it long term, you're going to be so much better off. So talking to those people, we're talking decades of experience doing small things that equate into very large things that are admirable. And I like talking to those people because it gives a perspective on what did you do, the small things along the way to build your inner warrior to be where you're at now, which is a pretty damn cool place. So those are your marathons. Today, we're focusing on a sprint, 5 to 15 minutes. And my last tutorial, my last sprint section was on voting. And I got pretty passionate about it. I used a lot of language in it, which tends to happen when I get passionate about a topic. And in retrospect, looking back on it, my wife brought up a really good point. I didn't talk very much about health. I talked a lot about business. I actually focused quite a bit on finances, but I didn't really hit the health button as much as I wanted. And so I tried to design a healthcare segment, and I wanted to talk about healthcare, blah, blah, blah. But it all comes down to you, right? You are the only thing that can control you. So when we're looking at all the outside influences of, say, the healthcare system, we all have our gripes. It costs too much. They don't provide certain healthcare. When you get in a pickle here, there, the other, it's like insurance. They don't take care of you the way you want that to happen. But at the end of the day, there's only one thing that we can control, and that's ourselves. So the first step in the healthcare system is always you. And if you're not taking the steps to be healthier and voting, like I talked about last time, if you're not voting on your health every day, then what do we expect out of the other people? We want big pharma to take it. Hey, I haven't taken care of my health in 20 years, but now I want a pill to solve it, and it better be fucking free. Like, that doesn't make any sense when you break it down to the simple points of it. So the healthcare system that I'm talking about is in your head, right? And yes, mental health, but your physical health is what I want to talk about predominantly. So your physical health, and that voting process goes into it, because every day we make micro choices. Am I going to go do this out? What time did I wake up? Let's start right from the beginning of your day. Now, if you go to bed and it's just say on time, whatever that is, when do you wake up? How much sleep did you get? Did you hit snooze and then slowly meander your morning on? Okay. You're making health conscious choices right off the get go. So your health is going to start sleep is necessary. Get the adequate amount of rest. There's a lot of studies out there about blue light and screen time before bed, and I highly encourage you to look into those. I haven't dug crazy deep into them, but it is proven that if you're going to bed and the last thing you do in your day is sit on your phone, it affects your sleep patterns. Okay. Those of you who like to crack a beer or sip some whiskey or a glass of wine before you go to bed, that affects your sleep pattern. So make the choices to get good sleep. Now, when you wake up, if you hit the snooze button, you're already setting yourself back, right? Because what you just did is you told yourself it's okay to get a little more. You gave back into the system of laziness, right? That's not a healthy mentality. If you can, if nothing else from this tutorial, tomorrow when you wake up, when your alarm goes off, all I want you to do is get out of bed, okay? You don't hit the snooze button, just get up and start your day. That is winning step one. Now, step two, there's arguments left, right, and sideways on whether you should eat breakfast, if you're on intermittent fasting, what you should eat for breakfast. It should be carb heavy in the morning. It should be lean proteins in the morning. And guys, that's a never ending debate because it ultimately comes down to you. What are your goals? What is your genetics, your predisposition for certain things? It's too big of a topic for me to say, hey, just do this, right? No. If you're on intermittent fasting and that's working for you and you feel healthy and your brain is sharp and you're getting about your day, keep it up. Just be disciplined on it. Now, the people I want to talk to are the people who don't have a plan at all. If you haven't looked into your body type, if you haven't looked into your genetic predispositions, if you haven't looked at your success or failure rate on what you're doing in the morning, are you gaining weight? Something should change. It should probably start with your first meal of the day. And then you keep making systematic changes throughout your day so you can get on a healthier path. So food intake is huge. What are you consuming and what time of day are you consuming it? Once again, this is something that you personally need to dig into to set yourself up for success. Now, continue exercise. Are you going to the gym in the morning, right? Are you going to the gym in the afternoon, evenings? Work schedules play into this. If you have kids, those play into it. Like there's so many astronomical differences that play into it, but sleep, nutrition, exercise. Exercise is a foundation of growing. What is the first thing that starts to go when you age? Your muscle mass. Your muscle mass starts to break down, and that has a huge recourse because of your chemicals and what's happening in your body. We're not designed to live forever, but if you want a better quality of life moving forward, you got to focus on your health, and muscle mass matters. It does. So I would advise everybody to at least think about where they're at in their day and what is their standard routine and figure out a way to improve it. If it's sleep, that's awesome. If you can make one change in each aspect, just sleep, your nutrition, and your exercise, you will see a difference. You got to give it time. There's no magic to this, right? But if you want to avoid the big healthcare system, you need to reevaluate and improve your personal healthcare system. That will keep you out of those big doctors' office. That'll keep you out of the crosshairs of big pharmaceutical and will drastically improve your life. And if you think that those right there, you're kind of like, oh yeah, that's stereotypical shit. Put it into play. Give it 6 weeks. If you can't give it 6, give it 4, but give it some time. Don't just make some changes for like a New Year's resolution, new year, new me, and you're done by the 5th. That doesn't happen. Of course, you're not going to see any benefits to this. You're not going to see what you're actually doing for yourself. These micro changes are building a better foundation. Now, you could do a crash diet or hit the Ozempic or do whatever the hell you want. No one's going to stop you. But those are not sustainable paths. Those are not going to improve your health holistically and long term. They're a momentary fix, kind of like just a massive hit of dopamine, right? You're not doing anything for yourself to live longer, to be healthier, to have a better quality of life while you are alive. So focus on your sleep, see what you're doing there, and just tweak it. Fix those minor problems, see what you can do, see how you feel after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of just no screen time before bed. Get your X amount of hours, whatever you feel, and do some research on that because everyone's different. Some people need 8 or 9 hours. Some people need 4. If you're like Jocko, you sleep for 4.5 hours and get up and just be on the ball, ready to go. I have no idea how he does it, but if he is able to do it and that's his routine and he's a healthy individual, he's fucking crushing it, okay? So find your sleep schedule, find your pattern, figure out what works best for you, but don't hit snooze. Just wake up and start your day. Analyze your nutrition throughout your day, starting with breakfast, all the way through, right through the last thing you eat. Don't go eating. It's scientifically proven you can't just eat a bunch of trash before bed, get your little dopamine hit, fall asleep. A, you're affecting your sleep schedule, back to step one. And B, you're setting yourself up for absolute failure because your metabolism is not going to pump through a whole bunch of garbage while you sleep. Your body's shutting down. It's repairing itself. That's what sleep is for. So analyze your diet. Make sure you're doing it right, including time, not just what you eat, but when you eat it. And then find some time to exercise. Go walking. There's 1,000 different ways that you can at least get some movement in your life. And if you're a sedentary person where you like to just Netflix and chill, okay, just add walking alone. Go outside and walk for 30 minutes leave an episode of Netflix behind and go walk. See what happens. See how it affects your mood. It actually has a drastic chemical response in your brain and you will notice it. Maybe not day one. I would say you probably will day one if you're open-minded to it and you actually self-assess before and after versus before a TV show and after a TV show. There's an absolute difference. So check that shit out. But just be more self-aware. We get caught up in this blaming these big conglomerates and these Fortune 500 companies about the healthcare process. And don't get me wrong, there's huge problems in that. I'm not even going to try to diagnose that on a sprint. I don't even know if I would do a full podcast on that because there's just too much involved. But you are your own first line of healthcare. And we fail as a human, huge umbrella statement. We fail at this left, right, and sideways, and then get mad and blame someone else. So before you start pointing the finger at someone else, start working on your healthcare. Start voting for yourself and figure out different methods of voting. I've talked about the 3 big ones that I see people mess with: your sleep, your nutrition, and your exercise. There's so many other things that you can start taking in. Your water intake. I mean, it's kind of nutritional, but very few people that I know actually take in the right amount of water for the body to stay hydrated. Hydration is a massive part of human health. If you're looking for, I'm not going to call it a quick way to lose a couple pounds, but a very easy way to see if you are in a healthy line, get the sleep that you need and wake up, get a gallon, give or take. I would say a gallon is always the gold standard. Get a gallon of water down a day, get in one workout of at least 45 minutes and watch what happens. You will lose weight. You'll feel more energized and it'll take some adjusting in your schedule, but it's if you can do that, then you can do so much more. All you got to do is break out of the monotony of average and take one step. Get your sleep in, drink some water, don't eat garbage. If you're eating fast food, get out of here. You're not even in the right ballpark, okay? Eat healthier for steps. Get your water in, get a workout in, and go to bed on time. See what happens. Watch what happens in your brain. Watch what happens with your focus, your mental capabilities to get through your day. See if your mood changes in your job. Give it this new year, new me, and then drop off at a week. Well, just start as a project. Make a hypothesis of what you think is going to happen. Treat it like a science project, okay? But get healthier. You're going to be your first line, whether it comes to saving yourself, because you're going to need to save yourself because no one's coming to fucking help you. And you are your own health advocate, your own mental health advocate. You're the only one who can actually make direct changes in your life. What I'm doing right now is simply talking to you to spark a little fire in your brain. That's it. I'm not making any changes for you. Your wife, your husband, your best friends, your parents, your kids, they're not going to change you. You're going to change you, and you're going to start with small things. So start with your healthcare. Start with making positive votes for your future, because then you can be there for your husband or wife. You can be there for your kids. You can be there. You want to outlive your parents? I think that's a pretty damn good goal for most children. Then, take some accountability in your own life and try to actually live that long instead of fundamentally killing yourself every day with shitty decisions. So my challenge to you is to take something out of those 3 areas: your sleep, your nutrition, and your exercise, tweak it up, turn it up a level, see what happens. And then when you're ready, turn it up another level and turn it up another level, and slowly increase the volume, increase your knowledge, and find that inner warrior that calls to you, because you will make positive changes. And those won't just last in your health. Those will transfer over to so many aspects: your personal relationships with your friends, your personal relationships with family and loved ones, your profession and how you interact every day with your coworkers, and your productivity at your job. Focus on your physical health and get it right. That's the inner warrior. That's what I'm looking at you saying. It's your job to find that inner warrior, change a little bit today, benefit from it tomorrow. So once again, my name is Jeff Ottele. If you like what I'm saying, if it draws you in even just the slightest little bit, hit the subscribe button, follow along. I'm going to keep throwing things at you like this all the time. Once again, this is not a self-righteous platform. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm better than you and you need to fix yourself. What I'm saying is we collectively all need to fix ourselves to find our inner warrior and to really ramp up our game so that we're not reliant on healthcare systems. Or first responders are awesome, but I have the abilities to help myself before they get here, right? These are all things that inner warrior needs, and you need that. You need to find that inner warrior, cultivate it, expand it, make it sharp, and just be a better version of you. So there's my challenge, guys.